Okay.
This is the Grow Business Podcast with Cory Mosley.
What I better do is strap in.
You better lock in, bro. That's what I'm saying.
What I really need to be doing.
Stressing.
Oh, he's stretching. Oh, Lord. I never had anybody do calisthenics before the podcast.
You know how this go, baby. You know how this go.
It's going to be. This is how it's going to be. We're setting the pace right now.
Hey, it's probably how the rappers do when they get ready.
Yeah, they ready. Yeah, turn my mic up.
Yeah.
Hello. Well, as usual, when the foolishness starts, you know that you are in the right location.
That's it.
You found the right dial. You've clicked the right button. You are streaming the right podcast. That's right. You are here at the Grow Business Podcast. Whoop, whoop. Yep. I'm your host, Cory Mosley. And I'm joined by a special guest. If you're streaming, you don't know yet, but if you're watching us on YouTube, this isn't Lon Graham. We've got a special guest co-host sitting in with us today. A longtime friend of mine, a guy who is going to drop a lot of knowledge. I'm building a lot of pressure and guaranteeing that we're almost guaranteed to have a great episode today because I've got none other than Dr. Delatorro McNeal II. Woohoo! In the house.
You like a stamp. You stick to one thing until it delivers.
I love it. Yes.
We had a drop ready for you.
That's it, brother.
And as usual, the man pushing the buttons is none other than Willie H is in the house.
Willie H.
Buttons, William. That's right. He's pushing those buttons. Yeah, we got a lot of little things that we're going
I love it, man.
We are super excited to have you here. Thanks for coming back for another week. Thank you for your listenership, your viewership. We love it. We are streaming everywhere that you are now. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, Amazon, Google, and you better believe it. Yeah. Oh, we got new ones. That's new. I haven't heard that one yet. I haven't heard that one.
Believe it.
So we've got another great show for you. I'm super excited to have you in the co-host chair today, fresh from another appearance on the Today Show.
Yes, sir, man. We had a great time.
That in for you already. So,
I appreciate it, Chad.
To hear you tell me. Yes, folks, he's been on the Today Show 6 times. We're super excited now. And as usual, though, he has no idea what we're going to talk about.
I have no clue where this is going.
I promised. I said it could be anything. We could be talking about the impact of cicada migration in North America today. I don't know. Probably wouldn't be the ideal thing on the Grow Business Podcast.
Right. Probably not.
So I guess we'll keep it kind of in a lane that I think you're familiar with.
Okay.
So we're actually, and I'm going to reveal it now. We're actually going to talk about. It's almost too easy because you literally just talked about this on the Today Show. So I thought it was good for you to keep that going because there's a lot of good information. Yeah. Folks, today we're going to be talking about burnout.
Wow.
For business owners. We're going to be talking about 5 signs of burnout in business owners. So how do you know that you're burning out if you don't know?
That part.
And then, of course, we've got to solve it. So we're going to talk about prevention and some action you can take to get yourself out of that situation.
Such an important conversation, Cory.
Yeah, because there's so many things happening out there. I mean, man, you gotta. I mean, just to keep up.
Yeah.
Right. Everything's changing. We're bombarded with so much information. Business owners have to do so much to just stay in the game.
Absolutely, bro. And you know what's funny, Cory, is I love this conversation, and I think it's so essential. You and I both know this. If you read Michael Gerber's book, The Email, right, 85% of small businesses fail in the first year, which gives you 15% left. That 15% that makes it past the first year, another 85% of that 15% fails by the third year due to burnout. And then of that small percentage that's left, another drops off at the 5-year mark due to a lack of funding.
Right.
So it's amazing how burnout comes even before the actual business really gets a chance to take off.
Yeah.
And so it's a real, and people say, okay, I started my business so they didn't have to work. Nah, man.
Well, yeah, that is the misnomer.
If there ever was one.
Yeah, that's the misnomer of the day there because you can't, I want to work for myself. Well, if you do anything that involves clients.
That part.
you are still now you can not show up for the gig,
right?
Not have the deliverable done on time,
right?
Not you won't be in business long doing that, but that is your right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you'll be fired in the same vein that you get fired from the job, not being good at your job,
right?
So it really is a false especially now with the internet.
Yeah, man.
Right? Neither of us are in Bali with our feet up and our laptop open while our Stripe account is making noises. Right? Ding, 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 ding. Like
laptop lifestyle. Yep.
So I haven't found that yet.
Yeah.
I'm looking.
What's funny?
I get enough ads every day that tell me that's how it's supposed to go. But go ahead.
But you're right, man. It's amazing to me, man, because I think this is such a crucial conversation for entrepreneurs because we're always taught, like you said, start the business because you want to work for yourself, but we don't have a strong enough conversation around work ethic.
Yeah, sure.
And how necessary work ethic is, whether you work for somebody else or you work for yourself, you're going to have that rock solid work ethic,
right?
Or you're not going to be in business.
Well, and all the things involved. Now, there's there's levels, like there's levels to anything. So you've got, a Series A round of $10 million in funding, and you can hire 100 people out of the chute.
Right.
Now, you're still working, not taking anything away from that.
Right.
But it's just a different dynamic.
Because even leading people and managing people is work.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. But you're probably in that scenario not having to pick up the phone and cold call prospects to get your consulting business going, or having to take samples of cookies out to the farmer's market and pass them out to get people to your bakery or your deal, right? So it's that 360 that lacks, and you find yourself really in that burnout phase. Yeah. For a lot of people, it's too late. I mean, you've got people, conking out.
Big time.
Yeah.
Here's what I think. I think we have to make a delineation, Cory, between burnout and overwhelm to help people kind of understand the differences between those two. I think most entrepreneurs walk around overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a strong percentage of them that are actually burnt out and operating on fumes. So just to give some context to it, right? If you think about overwhelm is just, how you try to carry too many groceries from the grocery store into the house and you almost drop them, or you try to wrap that rubber band around all them files. You've overextended yourself, right? And we tend to do that a lot in business and in life. We overextend ourselves because a lot of us are givers. Yeah. You and I have talked about it in the car, right? When you come from that giving heart, when you come from that empathic heart, when you come from that heart to serve, and especially those of us who are entrepreneurs who came from when we didn't come from much and we've built empires in our own individual, we have this sense of give back, reach back, right? To pull others up. But the challenge with that is if you're not careful, look at what happened with MC Hammer, right? You got 6,000 people on payroll. I mean, hello. You can only go so long.
Yeah. And what was that, Willie? Willie dropped something on us. Go ahead.
Let the church say amen.
Come on, somebody up here. You knew it was coming.
I gotta tee it up for him. We got a eye to eye thing we gotta look at, so I know something's coming here.
Yes, sir.
But yeah,
that's that whole overwhelm versus burnout. So burnout, and this is important, right?
One leads to the other too.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure.
So prolonged overwhelm leads to burnout because the actual definition, right, if we talk about burnout, is a state of mental, physical, and emotional exhaustion due to prolonged stress.
Yeah.
So the stress of our personal lives, the stress of running a business, the stress of managing and leading teams, the stress of keeping up with the competition, the stress of managing social media, the stress of managing multiple personalities if you're one way on social and another way in your personal. I mean, hello, right? That's prolonged stress.
Well, it's funny because while you're talking, I'm saying to myself, like, it's a whole different direction, but it just popped in my head. Like, what makes me laugh is people who are burnt out, go on vacation, and their vacation is so packed,
Cory,
that there's no decompression. It literally is like they've just transferred.
Right.
And I'm not talking about working while you're on vacation. I'm talking about making your vacation work while you're there.
Right.
We've got the agenda, 7 a.m.
Right.
A couple skill building right now.
That's what you do, Cory.
Right. Like 7 a.m. this, 8 a.m.
Zip lining at 8 a.m.
Yeah. And there's where's the vacation?
Where is the actual rest?
Lord have mercy.
That part, right? Where is the rest? Where is the recreation?
Yes.
Where is the slow down the word? Where is the recreation of ourselves?
Yep.
The whole reason why we take the vacation is to recreate ourselves. Recreational activities are designed to help us to recreate ourselves. So when we learn that and understand that and embrace that, you ain't got to put a million things on the schedule because then you need a vacation from the vacation.
Correct. Yes. Which I know there's people who come back from vacation more
Exhausted.
Yeah, yes,
bro. I leave Sunday for a cruise, and I am not buying the Wi-Fi package. I am not doing none of that stuff, bro. Because that's one of the reasons why I love cruises.
I love that.
I love cruises because I get on the boat, bro. I put my phone in the safe. I might take it out a couple times, take a couple pictures.
That's good.
But bro, I put my phone in the safe because I remember when I read Timothy Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Work Week. And in that book, he talks about how 75% of people check work-related email on vacation.
I do for sure.
And let alone text. That's so for sure. So even when, and then we brag, Cory, about the amount of paid time off for those of us who are still working a job and still building our side hustle, right? We brag about the amount of paid time off that we haven't taken.
Right.
So it's like we live in a world where, bro, it's like we're constantly pushing ourselves to the brink of burnout and exhaustion, and we brag about it like it's a...
Yeah, I never understood the hustle and grind thing. Like I have friends who are in that world, and, or like that's part of their brand and the whole thing. That's just, design your life.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But I'm really, do you ever study any of Greg McGowan's stuff? Limitless, effortless.
No, not yet.
Yeah. But I got a thing. I printed it out and it sits on my deal. It's do less, do it better. You'll be happier.
Come on. Do less
and do
it better.
Right.
You'll be happier.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Clean.
Like that's what I'm talking about.
Bro, that's crispy right there.
Yeah. I'm getting close to Bali. And that's why you are the best. These are all new, bro. Willie H is coming with some new stuff. We got to work on the volume level so I can hear it. Right. But our listeners will hear it better than I can hear it. But all right, we love lists here. Yeah. So we're gonna be talking. We're gonna talk about 5 signs.
Okay.
And then just kind of elaborate and get in the mix on that. Right.
Let's do it.
So, all right. So number 1. We're going to start with the signs of burnout. Right. What are some things? So we're going to start. Number 1 is chronic fatigue and insomnia, right? Constant tiredness and difficulty sleeping even after resting.
That part.
What do you think about that?
Bro, so first and foremost, I think it's vitally important that we add this to the conversation, Cory. Do you know the World Health Organization literally went on record and has entered burnout as an actual disease? The World Health Organization...
I did not know that. That's why you're here.
Exactly. So they've entered it into the 11th revision of the International Classification of Diseases.
Wow.
So the World Health Organization now calls burnout an actual disease. So that's something that, we need to really take a lot more seriously.
Is that right up there with bursitis?
Right. The flu, right? COVID, right? You got COVID? Dang. Go home.
You got that
burnout?
That burnout was acting up. That burnout was acting up.
That burnout was killing a brother. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let's put it this way. Willie H don't get any ideas because that will not, I don't care what doctor's note you got. Don't cite Dr. Delatorro on your paperwork.
These are your doctor's orders.
Delatorro said that's a disease, and I got it Tuesday through Thursday because it's going to be nice out.
Hold on, part. You know what I'm saying? And Florida's a great place to have that happen. But I'm at the beach because I'm burnt out. But no, seriously. So I
require all employees to put their location.
They gotta drop pins. That's crazy, bro. But no, so if we think about that, right? So it's entered as a disease. We got to get clear about these symptoms. So like you said, one of the symptoms is no matter how much sleep you get, you're still exhausted.
Yep.
You're burned out.
Yeah.
And then when you go to sleep, you can't stay asleep.
Right.
Because your mind's constantly. And I talk to
Are you
so many
affected by caffeine and stuff when it comes to getting your like? What's your routine?
I'm not, bro. To be honest with you, I think because I'm a high energy guy. Period. That like energy drinks and all that stuff.
Do you crash when you crash?
When I crash, I do crash.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The energy drink thing, I never got that either.
Yeah, bro.
And I had this conversation with my wife all the time. Like if we're in the, grocery store and you're looking, you got a bunch of Coke products.
Right.
You only got a few things, but you've got all these cases to Monster, Red Bull. Yeah. And I just never.
Me neither, bro.
That's never been a thing.
Bro, I'm a coconut water dude, man.
Yeah,
give me some coconut water.
All right.
Well, give me some Celsius, you know what I'm saying?
You do come out and ask people to grab something and wave. You do turn Jamaican in your speaking presentations sometimes. So that coconut water tracks.
There you go. You feel me?
But that also, I think people realize that that creates a crash too.
Exactly.
Because you're running off of that. Your body's. I mean, I'm not an expert in health and health science, but your body's running off that artificial stuff, and then boom.
And then you have that big crash. And then one of the ways I like to help people understand this whole burnout epidemic, especially as it pertains to insomnia, Cory, is think about your phone. Yeah. Right. The difference between overwhelm and burnout is this. Overwhelm is you got too many apps open, right? So it's draining your battery. But burnout is the phone is dead.
Yeah.
And there is nothing you can do. I don't care how famous you are. I don't care how popular you are. I don't care how big of a social media following. When your phone is dead and it's gone and you can't, the only thing that's going to bring it back
is
rest and a charge.
Yeah.
And watch this, Cory.
I like how you tie.
Come on, brother.
I like how you tied that together. Listen, I ain't gonna be fist bumping you all episode.
Right. Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Hey, we need a Will. We need a fist bump sound, brother. We just need something in the building for the fist bump. But Cory, think about it. Isn't it amazing how difficult it is to charge your phone while you're using it? And that's what happens. We're so busy using our lives and using our business and using our and when we get vacations, we're still using. So that's why you come back from vacation, you still feel burnt out. Because you never actually took the time to rest and reset. And you know me, bro. I mean, I'm a faith dude. So I mean, if God created the whole earth, right, in 7 days, in 6 days, and then took the seventh day to say, I'm gonna rest and chill, and look back on what he did and said, this is dope.
Right.
Then I'm like, okay, hello, we need to take a lesson from that. Yeah. You still need to take a minute and look back at what you did and say, man, that was good.
Yeah. When the church say amen. Yeah, there you go. I told you we got something.
You got something for me, But does that make sense, bro?
No, it makes sense 100%. So, and I knew you were going to have a great illustration.
Yeah, to pull it in.
This was a topic that you covered on the Today Show. On your sixth visit to the Today Show.
We ain't cool, man.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. It's just hate. So I'll just hate.
Symptom number one was right. I'm not gonna fist bump you. I'm not gonna fist bump
elevator. Yes, I'm gonna make sure I tell everybody you've been on the Today Show. No, I love that for you. So, okay, chronic fatigue and insomnia.
Yep.
Okay, number 2. If you're experiencing decreased productivity and performance, so if you're struggling to meet goals and deadlines, also if your work quality is declining.
That part.
Like I think about the idea of, the term phoning it in.
Yeah, bro.
A lot of people are burnt out to a certain extent where they're literally just phoning it in.
Yep. Just doing the day-to-day.
Correct.
Right? And one of the things, when you study, like, me, I teach a lot on peak performance with these companies and stuff like that. When you study time management and productivity,
right? All the experts say less is more. Yes. They also talk about how multitasking is actually counterproductive. Right. Because if I've got 10 things I'm working on and I'm giving 10% of my energy to 10 different things, 100% of myself is going out to those 10 things. Right. But each one of those things I'm working on is getting 10% of my best, not my best. So less is more. It's actually, so one of the things that they recommend, Cory, is instead of multitasking, they recommend chunking your day. Yes. That's a Tony Robbins thing. Too. Yeah. Like a long time ago. Yeah. So it's okay. Instead of checking your email all day long throughout the day, every 45 seconds to 2 or 3 minutes. I'm guilty of that. Yeah. So, hey, I've been there too. Set certain times. Okay, I'm gonna check my email for 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the afternoon, 10 minutes in the evening. Right. Unless you're expecting something crucial, right? If it's a day where you're expecting your brand new book to drop, congratulations. Right. Yes. Come on, somebody, right? Yeah. Then you got to check your email constantly. But hold on. That's a good place to shout. Segue. Right. Position for growth now. Shipping available. Yeah. Get yourself on Amazon or head over to newcorymosley.com. Learn more. Position for growth. If your business has become stuck, stalled, or stagnant, we're going to get it growing again. Somebody wrote the forward to that. I'm trying to figure out who that was that wrote a sonnet. Wrote a beautiful, took up the first 3 pages of the book. Yes. I said, make this 16-point font, spread it out. Yes. Let's get it. Hey, and I wrote the forward on the way back from the Today Show. Yeah, there you go. Of course. Listen, hey, I gotta clown you, man. I read it and said, "Oh, I like this guy. I would buy his book." I'm like, "Woo!" I'll buy my own book. Yeah. So, that was beautiful for a guy just met 5 minutes before he wrote the forward. But man, I meant every word. Yes, no, I appreciate everything. I put in that forward, man. I meant it because you're a rock solid brother. You always have been. I appreciate
I consider you a pillar in our industry, man.
Thank you. And folks, I mean, I'm a pillar, so that means you got to go to Amazon or go to CoryMosley.com and pick up a copy of Position for Growth, a proven strategy to modernize your business and achieve record revenues.
That's it, baby.
Woo! All right. You probably can't finish your thought because you don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
You did? Okay, this is good. Oh, go ahead.
We were talking about multitasking.
Oh, but you were in the middle of something and I just
it's all good.
cut it off to plug the book.
You did.
Position for Growth now in stores.
Right. He's still doing it, champ. Bad boys for life. You know what I'm saying?
Work with me, brother. Work with me.
That part. I'm trying to work with him. So we gotta shift over from multitasking all throughout the day to chunking the day, which is gonna give us a better chance to be more productive, so we're not feeling so much of the burnout and the overwhelm because it's less is more.
Because I know that you have, like I have, at some point in our careers, maybe as recent as yesterday, said, why am I doing all this?
That part. Oh, yeah.
Have I lost my mind?
My ever-loving mind, right?
They say you get what you ask for. Is this what I asked for?
That part.
Really? I need to go back to the journal and see what page that was on.
That part, right. Yeah, because you're experiencing more of the stuff that you didn't know as you started your journey.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
Absolutely, yeah.
Correct.
So a loss of productivity, Cory, and just kind of feeling like you're phoning it in is a massive sign. That's a massive sign that you're burned out. When you can't bring your best to the table, you can't bring your A game to what you're doing, then guess what? You're opening up the door. So you're opening up the door for your competition to eat your lunch because you can't be your best self.
Right.
So that's why it's important. So for me, Cory, one of the things I love to do, bro, I take quarterly vacations. Every 3 months, I got to go somewhere.
Yeah, that's now that I think about it, I always see you somewhere. Yeah. I mean,
I go for at least a week.
And I don't think. No, correct me if I'm wrong, because I mean, obviously, none of us have time to be consumed by each other's content all day long. You're kind of but you're not active while you're there. You'll get a setup like I'm going away, I'm headed out, or I'm back, or then you'll see maybe you've got pictures or photos and things you'll share after the fact. You're not taking pictures of you're not live streaming your food on vacation while you're trying to eat the food.
Now, if so, watch this. So correct, 500%. I think that activity is okay.
Yeah, it's all personal preference. But I'm talking about you.
Yeah, me personally. So if you're a paid influencer, then post in real time. But in my humble opinion, I love what Busta Rhymes just talked about at the Essence Festival. He said, man, y'all put them phones down and actually enjoy the concert. He said, I'm an old school MC.
Right.
He said, put them phones down and actually be present with me.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we got to learn how to do. So for me, when I go on my vacations, I like to take all the pictures and videos and all that stuff. But I post it after I've been back.
Yeah.
So when people are saying, oh my God, you're having a good time in Jamaica, man, I've been back 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, and you have a nice house, so you don't want to get robbed while you're on vacation. You know, you're out here, living it up in Jamaica with your hands in the air. And they all up in your ADTs going off.
You see what I'm saying? That part.
I get it.
You know, I decided to get a nice house after you got one.
Anyway. Mine's connected. This is the townhouse.
I'm not going to spit up this tea on this show, bro. I know you're trying to get me to spit up the tea. I'm not going to spit up the tea, man.
All right, we're never going to get through the show. Okay, decreased productivity. Number three, loss of enthusiasm and motivation. So feeling indifferent or resentful towards work that used to be exciting.
Yeah, man, that's a big one, bro. Because when you no longer have passion, slow down the word. Pass I on.
Here we go. I do it. Here we
Your passion, your primary passion in life is the one word.
Wait, hold on. You really were stretching with this one. No. You really were stretching with this one.
I know. I'm a
pass I on. Yeah. Let me put that there. You know, that reminds me of In Living Color back in the day, where David Wayans would be the guy in jail trying to make the words conspiracy. C-O-N-spiracy. Pass I on. Okay, go ahead. Let me go ahead. Regale us.
Yeah, you know it's coming. You know it's coming, right?
Go ahead.
So I believe every one of us is going to be remembered by our primary passion. If I say Henry Ford, we tend to say the automobile, right? If I say Oprah, you say television.
Sure.
People sum up your life with one word, and that one word tends to be whatever your primary passion was. If I say Kevin Hart, you say comedy, right? If I say Denzel Washington, you say acting. Most women say fine. right?
Right.
But at the end of the day, people sum up our lives with one word, and that one word is whatever our primary passion is. So when you slow down the word passion, operating in your passion is how you pass yourself on to humanity. That's why it's pass I on. It's how I pass myself on to others. Your passion is helping small businesses. You have a craving for that. You love that. You adore that. You've built a whole studio and a whole brand around helping small business owners succeed at the highest level.
Yeah.
That's your pass I on. That's your passion. Now, the moment that Cory can't help small businesses succeed and he can't help small businesses
8 Fortune 100s we've worked
and
with.
Fortune 100, Fortune 50s. I mean, hello, right? You're a mogul.
That's true. Yep.
But my point is, the moment that you no longer find joy in doing that, all of a sudden your passion has been impacted, and that's because you're exhausted, bro.
Yeah.
So that's a clear sign that you got to get away and really take time to recenter, reevaluate, reassess. See, even if you think about this, Cory, even the time of year that we're having this conversation is so crucial because this is our halftime reset.
Right.
At the time that we're filming.
Yeah.
It's the middle of the year. And we have this opportunity to make the rest of the year the best of the year. But in order to do that, you got to make sure that you take time to rest and recover, because when the things that gave you joy and passion, and this can be romantic stuff, right? If you feel like your relationship's gotten stale, maybe there's nothing wrong with your partner. You all just need to take a vacation. You need to take some time away. There's nothing wrong with your kids. You're just exhausted from parenting, and parenting exhausting. Watch this. I'll be transparent. My dad's been in the hospital for over a year, Cory. You know that. Caregiving can be exhausting.
Yes.
So sometimes you got to take a break, a vacation, just from something like that, from caregiving. So you can because watch this, if I'm not careful, I'll go to the hospital with an attitude with my dad because I'm burned out.
Right.
Instead of taking the vacation.
That relationship.
And that's going to affect that relationship. And I can't caregive like I need to. So this applies in so many different modalities, bro.
Yeah. No, 100%. I mean, you're hitting it. Nail on the head. Is that the saying? Yeah. Okay. So make sure I got it. Willie H got something on it.
That's why you are the best.
That's new. So he's even surprising me here.
I love it. You need to be surprised that you're shocking me with all this stuff. I don't know where we're going.
Exactly. We had Barbara Smith on a little while ago, and he hit the button. Someone just come out. She go, where'd that come from? Yeah, that's what pushing the buttons is about here.
That's it, baby.
At the Grow Business Podcast. All right. Chronic fatigue and insomnia, decreased productivity and performance. 3, loss of enthusiasm and motivation. Yeah. Number 4, emotional exhaustion and detachment. Ooh. So feeling drained and disconnected from the business and the employees. I think I'm burnt out. I'm going through this checklist.
Bro,
I'll be back, y'all.
That part, right? That detachment piece is big, Cory. If you think about it, right? Because that's a removal, right? And so when you have to step back and you say, okay, cool, I'm just going to kind of emotionally check out. You know, I talk about this and shift into a higher gear, man. The engine of the motorcycle of your life is your core emotions. And I'm a firm believer in this. No matter where our business is, no matter how successful our businesses are, no matter how much money we generate, at the end of the day, the quality of our life comes down to the quality of the core emotions that we experience on a daily basis. So if you are emotionally detached, in your business, that's the equivalent of being emotionally unavailable in a relationship. I'm going to say that again. If you're emotionally detached in your business, that's the equivalent of being emotionally unavailable in a relationship. And you know what happens when you experience that? You're kind of checked out.
Right.
And so it's like, okay, are we literally going to do this and just be a ghost, just be a zombie? Or are you going to just do yourself the favor and take the time that you need to get better, to get healthier? Right. Because if we don't take the time, our body's going to shut down for us, bro.
Yeah, and I remember, and I don't know who it was. I can't remember what speaker it was, but it was a guy that, has got big systems. He was an international guy, and he was talking about how, and you talked about this, the quarterly thing. It's built in, right, to his schedule. Yeah. So it's not, we should go on a vacation or where are we going to go? It's like, here's the dates. Here are these 4 dates that we're blocking a year in advance. That will be, so he may not even have an answer of the where.
Right. That don't matter.
This is vacation.
Yeah.
This is vacation. That is vacation. Yes. So it's built in. So you're not, you're hedging against, it's preventative.
Exactly.
Right? It's proactive instead of being reactive.
Right. And if we're going to take on the responsibility of being brands and being entrepreneurs and running companies and enterprises and all this stuff, we have to make sure that we don't hit that.
Right.
So my hope is that as people are listening and watching this, they will, like you said, set up preventative things, Cory, in their schedule so that they don't hit burnout.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So they can kind of say, okay, listen, that quarterly is my reset. That's my reset.
Right.
So that way I can make sure that the next quarter is the best quarter, right? And you started out what you said by saying he's killing the game. Well, he's killing the game because he's built in rest and recovery into his agenda. And I think that's important.
And, teams, obviously there's a lot of moving parts to that, right? How you set up your team, how people are there to support you, not trying to, there's a lot of glamour with the running thing, the glamour and I'm the chief cook and bottle washer here, right? Like, we laugh, right?
Right.
That's what will get you a heart attack, right? Trying to do everything and do it all. All right, so here's the last one, and then we're going to flip to some preventative stuff. Yeah, like preventative stuff. So the last one that, most of these were kind of external in a more intellectual way. The last one is just straight up physical symptoms. Yeah. Frequent headaches, muscle pain. I'm burnt out. Hold on.
You're like, wait a minute.
You ever read something?
You're like, I'm too in.
This is me. Yeah.
I'm volunteering myself.
Headaches, muscle pain, other stress-related health issues. You got heart palpitations. These different things going on.
Headaches, heart palpitations. I just like to go down. Headaches, heart palpitations, digestive issues. Either in other words, either your appetite changes, right? You're having trouble, using the restroom, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You can't keep stuff down. All that's like you're going back to the sleep stuff. I mean, those are all hints and clues that your body is trying to tell you that it needs a break. And it needs, listen, y'all, I want everybody who's listening or watching this to just take a quick moment and look around you. Everything that's around you, whether it's an iPad or a phone or a camera, right? Or a laptop, right? No matter what's around us that we use every day, it has to be plugged in at the end of that day in order for it to function at its best the very next day. And we had to learn how to do that. So it kind of goes back to what you were talking about with the whole grind and hustle mode. That's only good for so long because the truth is nothing that God created, Cory, grinds. Yeah. It flows. Think about it. A bird, I'm going to say it again.
Here we go.
There we go. Nothing God created grinds. It flows. A bird does not struggle. A bird doesn't grind to fly. A dog doesn't grind to bark. Water doesn't grind to be wet. Grass doesn't grind to grow. Everything that God created has a natural flow to it. So what we're supposed to do is find, foster, and facilitate our flow. And when we get into our flow state, bro,
I'm just going to start writing notes.
When we get into our flow state, bro, we don't have to grind. I get it. There's a season of hustle, right? We all got to go through that season of hustle. I call it pedaling uphill, where you're trying to establish a name. You're trying to establish a customer base. You're trying to establish your market share, your territory, right? But at some point, we got to get to that tipping point and enjoy some downhill success. And if we cannot enjoy the ebbs and flows of life and business, we're not going to be able to enjoy business at all because we're going to be burnt out. We're going to be in a casket somewhere. Yeah. So I think it's violent because stress still is the number one killer.
It's funny and it accelerates age. Man. So like Beverly Hills Cop 4, you streamed it? Yeah. When you go to the scene at the end, sorry, spoiler alert.
I haven't seen the end yet. I just started watching it.
Oh, okay.
Well, please.
Okay, so it's not a spoiler alert, but they recreate certain things from the movie, right? So one of the things they recreate at the end is the scene of Eddie Murphy sitting in the back of the car, when they were staking him out. Yeah. And when you take a still of that, it's been 40 years with this movie, right?
How long?
It's been Beverly Hills. The original one was 80 something. Wow. So it's been 40 years.
40 years.
And you look at the still of how Eddie Murphy looks close to how he was back then.
It's like the brother didn't age.
Judge Reinhold and the guy that plays Taggart.
Night and day. Different.
I don't know what their lifestyle was. Yeah. Because, listen, Eddie, what does he had to do? But spend his money and make babies. Right. Shout out to Eddie Murphy.
Did a great job at both.
He's obviously listens to the Buck Girl
podcast.
Part,
you see what I'm saying? But about to call in.
But like you look at the contrast and you're like, man, there's some different. Now, guy,
and that's not just black don't crack either.
Right. No, that's products.
That's right.
Whenever people, Cory, you have such great skin. Yeah, don't be fooled. that's a routine.
That's right.
Okay, I'd say that's squalane, that's snow pea mushroom extract.
There you go.
And they're like, oh, you know your stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm slathering that's that Pharrell. I'm going into LL Cool J mode. I'm not aging anymore. This is it.
You done. You frozen. I love it.
LL's like 40 forever.
For real. You see what I'm saying? It looks amazing.
Pharrell, all those guys.
Yeah, man, we're aging backwards. Yeah. That's what's happening right now.
But that's all contributory. That's right. Not just to the daily routine, but that is to the stress. That's why, Obama went in jet black, came out gray.
Bro. I was like, our bodies tell us stuff, man. It's
most stressful job in the world there, right? For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now we're going to flip in the accelerated portion because we have used up all our time talking about the 5 signs. So by now,
there you go.
You know if you're burned out, like you may have been able to say at that point, this is me, this is me, this is me, right? There could be some identifying cues. So now we're going to kind of preventative mode, right? Okay. So what are some of those things? Let's look at that. Number 1, delegating and outsourcing.
Huge.
Right? Assigning tasks to employees. Yeah. Or I've been saying for years, professionals hire professionals when they need help. Mm-hmm. All this DIY stuff will kill you. If you're a baker, stop trying to do your QuickBooks at 1 a.m. because you're baking for the rest of the day and trying to sell your cookies. Then you're trying to be your own CPA.
You see what I'm saying to you, bro? That part.
Sell more cookies so you can hire the right people.
That part.
Raise the price of those cookies so you can hire the right people.
Sell those to a higher caliber customer.
Correct. Exactly.
I love it. Yeah.
Exactly. So, all right. So assign tasks, outsource to professionals. That frees up time, right? That reduces workload, and that's the key to being able to focus on strategic aspects of the business also.
But you mentioned something powerful. You mentioned a word that most of us don't understand, Cory, and you mentioned the word delegate.
Yeah.
So if we scratch below, because I talk to organizations just like you do all the time, and when I'm keynoting for these major corporations, and I ask these C-suite folks, all right, you need to delegate more. Why don't you? When you scratch below the surface of a lack of delegation, you will find a lack of trust. Most people don't delegate because all of us graduated from the university of I can do it all by myself.
Right, sure.
And so when we don't trust other people to perform at the level that we perform, we don't delegate. We take it on ourselves.
Yep.
And we have this selective amnesia about the fact that when we were starting to do whatever the task is, we weren't good at it then either. So that's why I love something that Les Brown says. He says, allow people. In other words, what Les was saying was, give people a chance to do something wrong long enough to get it right. But we don't give people that shot. We give them a chance. They mess up the first time. We say, okay, it's faster if I just do it on myself.
Right.
The problem with that is that your entire business bottlenecks with you.
Yeah. And also patience is circumstantial.
That part.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's all correlated to whatever you've got going on.
Yeah,
right. It's and if you've got, procrastination tendencies like I do,
like we all do. Yeah.
Right. And what we do though is we'll say things like, oh, I work best under pressure. to not deal with that fact, right?
Yeah.
Oh, the party don't start till I get there.
Right.
Lord have mercy.
Right. That's my, so I get to be late under that idea, right? Nothing really happens till I get there anyway.
Yeah.
So, and it just goes back to that programming in our mind. Shout out to Lon Graham, who's here in spirit via audio here.
There you go.
Never too far away from us.
And Cory, another thing that when we talk about this conversation on procrastination, I think, and I teach this all the time, one of the biggest reasons why we procrastinate, bro, is because at the end of the day, at some level, psychologically, most of the things we procrastinate about are things that we haven't attached enough pleasure to. For example, if you've been struggling or procrastinating cleaning out your garage in your house.
Sure.
It's a mess, right? You want to get it together, but you just haven't. Let me ask you this question. When you think about cleaning out that garage or organizing your QuickBooks what are some of the emotions that come up for you?
Right.
Most people are like, it's frustrating. It's going to look so bad for a couple of days before it gets better. I don't know where to put stuff. So there's all these challenging emotions that come along with whatever that task is. So if you associate all that pain and negativity to that task, you're going to procrastinate all day long.
Right.
Why? Because our brains are reward center based. We will do whatever we can to avoid pain.
That's right.
And gain pleasure.
That's right.
So it's amazing how we procrastinate on stuff like that, but we don't procrastinate on things that we know is going to give us pleasure.
Now, I will tell you, in the defense of my brain, the results of the procrastination.
Come on. Feel real good.
Are because it's still,
that couch is tight, boy.
It's the product still comes out good.
That's right.
And
right.
I think that creates a a false sense in some ways. But I tell you, one of the most interesting things for me is accepting the fact that there are things that I do very, very well,
right,
that are very, very easy for me, and are hard for other people, and releasing the guilt,
that part
associated with that.
Yeah, man, that's huge.
Even like speaking, that's right? Huge, so you're a Hall of Fame speaker. I'm a CSP, very important distinctions in the speaking world, right?
Yes, huge.
And I find, but I watch people in terror sometimes get up and go speak. And I'm like, because with your brain, I think it's, you don't want to take it for granted. Am I taking it for granted that it's easy?
Right.
So then you kind of, downplay the skill.
Of course.
So like I think it's a really interesting, balance, right? To go, I'm not going to apologize for the fact that, if somebody called right now and said our keynote speaker down the hall dropped out, can you come down and do it? That it's not going to be like, oh my God, let me figure out how can I do it? I need 2 weeks. I need this. Like you can go execute.
And you bring up an important point, Cory, which is let's stay in our lane or zone of genius, right? So I think. So let's
shout out to Ramon Ray. That's the zone of genius. There
you go.
Dr. Will.
There you go. That's the whole crew, right? Yep. Authentic Abundance, my man Tony, the whole crew, right? But listen, I really believe, man, that when it comes to this procrastination thing, I think we got to get clear about what is our area of expertise. And if we're going to avoid burnout by delegating and building team, we got to know what we're good at and we got to know what we're not good at. And then we got to go ahead and outsource that to people who can do it 10 times better than us 100%. And let go of whatever the ego is that's got us holding on to, I got to do it all by myself.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Or I did it, or I built this myself, back then.
Right. That part.
Then you get in now it's Marshall Goldsmith time, right? What got you here won't get you there, right? That kind of thing. Yeah, for sure.
And then the other thing that you mentioned that I thought was worth double clicking on, Champ, was you talked about how there are rewards to, I still pulled off the project. I procrastinated, but I still got it done.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes, bro, we label things as procrastination that's not necessarily procrastination. It's confusion. You don't know what the next step is. So you're not procrastinating. See, procrastinating is I know what to do, I'm just not doing it.
Let me ask you this.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I like that. This is just a thing. I wonder if it's like the same thing. So I'll know something's due or I need to work on something. And I'm not procrastinating because this is good that you're making this point.
Yeah.
Because I'm not procrastinating. I'm thinking through the process.
Exactly.
Indirectly.
Yes.
So what I will find will happen to me creatively is the pieces will come together in the stillness.
That's right.
Of just that. So I know I got, okay, great. I know we got this presentation. I don't know yet, like even with the book, Position for Growth, now shipping on Amazon.com.
That was a beautiful, shameless plug.
Even with the book, it was, right, what's the structure going to be? What do I want to cover? So it was almost like I did the table of contents and didn't touch it for 6 weeks.
Yeah, because it's still formulating.
I see how this is going to shape out. Now it flows, and my guys know that with content. If we're working on content or something, it's like, all right, I don't know exactly, but then let me be still, and a few days later we'll come back, and I'm like,
bam,
I got it.
I call it. See, so you and I are we're similar, and I love the fact.
That's why I wonder if you kind of go through that process too,
all the time, bro. Like. Sometimes clients will ask me, Cory, let's say, hey, can you please send your presentation in advance? And I always tell the client no.
I need to start doing that.
Yeah, man.
Because I hate that. I'll get inspired by something.
The Tetris pieces are still dropping. That's the way I describe it. And everybody can relate to Tetris. So I'm like, listen, Tetris pieces are still falling. I'm still organizing what it is that I want to share. So rather than sending you 3 versions of this, I run native from my own machine.
Right.
Run HDMI to the stage. My sound check takes less than 10 minutes.
Right.
And I've never had a client give me any kind of issues about it. And in fact, after they're done, they're like, "Oh my God, that was the best keynote in convention history."
Right.
And I'm like, "Okay, trust my process."
Yeah.
So I think we all have to have a process. So there are certain aspects when we stall on things, it's because we don't know the path.
Right.
Other times when we're waiting for creative direction and guidance.
I like that.
And then other times when we're just flat out procrastinating. And I think we got to know the difference. And then if I can drop this last bar, I think it's going to be dope too. I think sometimes when it comes to procrastination, Cory, it's really not procrastination. It's a lack of belief. Let me explain what you just use a book example. So I'm going to use a book example. You know, I coach speakers and authors.
Yeah.
And so
I need we need a couch. Because I could lay down and get therapy right now. I can lay down. I can lay down right now. Please, Jedi.
I tell authors, new authors, first time authors, or whatever, all the time. I say, listen, you don't have writer's block issue. You have a belief issue. And like, oh no, the book's not coming together. There's not this. I'm like, they come give me all these excuses, all this foolishness as to why they haven't written their book. I said, let me ask you a question. If you knew that this book, as soon as it comes out, is going to sell 100,000 copies the first week,
right?
How long would it take you to write it? Oh my God, I'd write it in a weekend. Cool.
Yeah.
So you don't have a lack. It's not a knowledge problem. It's not a creativity problem.
Right.
It's a belief problem.
Right.
You don't believe people are going to come and support your book.
Right.
So you're stalling. You have a belief problem. You don't believe enough people are going to come to your event. That's why you haven't put a date on it and started marketing and promoting it. You don't believe the customer. You don't have a. It's not an issue of your talent or your knowledge or your ability. You have a belief problem. You don't believe it's going to sell. Let's call a spade a spade. Let's
And
be honest.
history. You had a bad deal, right? You know, so I talk about experiences.
Bruh.
People remember best experience and worst experience.
That's right.
Nobody remembers the 30-second party they went to. They remember the best party, best night of their life, and they remember the worst night of their life.
Yeah, that's right. Bookends, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So like if you come off of that, you know, we did workshops for years, particularly in the auto industry, all across the country. And, you know, you just have those, I remember.
Yeah.
The desperate cities where it was like, we got 5 people registered. We got. I mean, I don't know what to do. I don't know, and I don't want to go through that pain again.
And
right?
You have supported me when I've gone to cities and I've had tours, and I'm thinking 60 people are going to show up, and like 15 people show up.
And dude, I commend you. Because you gave it 100, they got the same. I mean, they really got the same energy,
no matter what.
You know, when you and that's just, you know, there's a labor of love aspect to this sometimes because there's a lot of different ways to make money.
Yeah,
right. There's a lot of different ways to earn an income inside companies and corporations, right? The only way not the only path to financial freedom isn't being on your own. Sometimes that's the biggest path to financial ruin.
Failure, right?
So right. So there's a lot of different ways. So there is still this labor of love because there's a commitment. I mean, you know, we don't have sponsors for this yet, right? Or anything. So this is all time.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is all time and expense to share and, you know, to get
build.
the word out. To share and build and get the word out and share competent. I always tell, you know, a theme here is nobody's a guru.
Yeah.
We're not trying to be your gurus on this show. I'm never trying to be anybody's guru.
That's right.
There are some things I've experienced and learned and have a knowledge base in that's what we're sharing and that's what we're trying to accomplish.
Exactly.
If it can help you, great. If you listen to something you're like, I think that's completely ridiculous, at least you had a thoughtful moment.
That part.
To agree or disagree.
Exactly.
To form your own opinion.
That's right. That's right, champ.
And I have no problem being wrong. I tell people I have no problem with that. But but the approach is always going to be that. Okay. So this would normally be the time when I'd go, we're going to have to do a part 2 of this. But since I don't have the luxury of having you just in the studio and having you locally, I'm going to compound a few of these together and then we'll talk about them and wrap up for people. Bro. So we talked about delegating and outsourcing. So number 2 is implementing work-life balance. I'm going to combine that with practicing mindfulness and stress management. So to put that in a bow, when we look at that, we're talking about setting boundaries, right? Between work and personal life.
Yes.
So you're not, just because you are serving clients and have clients to serve, doesn't mean you are obligated at 11 p.m. at night to serve them or on Sunday if that's not part of the deal, right?
Right.
So we want to set boundaries.
And we get to teach people how to respect our time.
Yes.
That's huge.
Yes.
And that right there in and of itself is about.
Yeah. Like we have clients on Slack. So my coaching clients have Slack access so they can send in stuff. My first thing is always, this is not chat support.
Yeah, bro.
Right. This is not instant access to me.
Right.
It may take a few days for me to, so send your video, Cory, can you look over this presentation, this document or this strategy or whatever?
Dope.
Yeah. send it. That does not mean I'm stopping what I'm doing and they'll send me eyeballs every now and again.
Right.
I'm gonna do this. You sent this at 11 o'clock a.m. yesterday, and it's 2 p.m. tomorrow.
That part.
Yeah. Now we can always renegotiate the fee.
Let's do that
for that immediate availability.
If that part.
Yeah.
The fee for the availability.
For the availability. Yeah. So we can always discuss that.
Hey, Will, he said he was LL Cool J, so now he up here rhyming. You know what I'm saying?
Better believe it.
Yeah. Old buddy of mine, Bill Whitmire, shout out to Bill, says, I'm like a Coke machine. I'm coin operated. Right?
You better put it in. You better get something out. That's right.
All right. So set boundaries, schedule regular breaks, take vacation. We've already talked about that. The impact, right? Recharging mentally, physically, which gets back that productivity and creativity. And then the mindfulness and stress management piece, people look at these differently, right? So meditation, yoga, deep breathing.
Right.
You got the Wim Hof guy out there that can walk in this Antarctic with jaws on.
Right.
But he's masters breathing. So again, those are focus and well-being things.
Have you gotten into cold plunging, man?
Yes, I've done it.
Okay.
I don't seek it out. I haven't bought the deal to go outside my yard and do it.
Right.
But I have done it. There's a fantastic place in Chicago. A buddy of mine took a trip. We tried to do this guys trip thing. Before I decided to do a third startup, but that's why I'm burnt out.
Invite me next time.
Yeah, but there was this fantastic place that my wife found. That is shout
out to ZMR.
Yeah, shout out to her. That's a place where it's just hot and cold therapy, the whole thing, the whole Zen thing. But they had a plunge in the sauna. So you're in this sauna and it's 1,000 degrees in there, of course, and and then you just get up. And right in the middle of the room
is a cold
deep down.
Wow.
Yeah, and you just step down and you plunge out and you come back. So you go through this whole experience.
That would be dope. I would love that.
That cold plunging, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that'll wake you up.
Big time, brother. That cryotherapy.
Scary to do, but fantastic. Now the cryo, that's a whole... Do you do the one in the where you're closed off completely or where your head is out?
Yeah, my head is out. Yeah,
so I can tolerate.
Yeah.
They have the refrigerator joints where you go in and they close you in like a refrigerator. I can't.
What?
It's too.
Yeah, I haven't done that one yet,
yeah.
bro. And then you got to turn around every couple seconds because bro, it's crazy.
But that refrigerator one, that'll get you. So a lot of people, when I use the term woo-woo, so a lot of people will, we start talking about meditation and deep breathing. Yeah. And, Cory, I'm old school. I don't have time for that woo-woo stuff. Right. But what you don't have time for is a heart attack.
That part.
Right? What you don't have time for is an anxiety attack that you think is a heart attack.
That part.
So I think people need to start
taking
ulcers.
I mean, all that kind of stuff, man. Gallstones. All these things can be tied back to stress, man.
But you won't breathe.
That part. And for me, I would much rather take the right supplements and have preventative, better health than take medication.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So eat the good foods and all that stuff, but take supplements that give your body what it needs when the nutrition plan isn't giving you what you need, right? So I've got a juicer. I don't juice every day,
right?
But I juice a couple times a month, and I love it. And I think it's important that we start to fold. I think what happens, Cory, honestly, I think
you love it though is important.
Yeah,
because everything I've tried to do just for the sake of the outcome.
That part,
right? You gotta have some, You gotta,
even when it comes to exercise. I tell people this all the time. If going to the gym with headphones on and lifting heavy things around a bunch of other people, if that does not do it for you,
right,
then find movement and exercise that you actually enjoy, whether it's Zumba or pickleball or racquetball or rollerblading.
You strap on those things now. You ever seen a video where they're bouncing to the music?
And they're having a blast.
Tap.
Yeah, bro. And they're stepping and everything. They got choreography. They're in there killing it, bro.
I mean, if you can think of it.
Yeah, they have it now.
They've found a way you're going to burn from it.
Right.
Ropes from the ceiling.
Exactly.
Workouts,
the pole dancing, all of that.
Yeah.
Find movement that you enjoy. And when you do that, you'll have a better. And Cory, you mentioned something earlier too that I think is really important. When you were talking about boundaries, the only one thing I thought would be important to bring to the conversation is the first thing we got to do if we want to set healthy boundaries, Cory, is that we got to get clear with ourselves
what those boundaries are.
Yeah, what those boundaries are. So it starts with two things: self-honesty about what your limitations are, and also self-honesty about what your preferences are. I think those are two huge things that most people don't sit down and grab a journal and just say, okay, what are my preferences when it comes to and then what are my limitations? The limitations tell you, okay, if I go beyond this, now I'm getting into the area of burnout, right? What did Mufasa tell Simba? He said, listen, everything the light touches is our territory.
Yeah.
But if you don't see light over there, don't go over there. That's not our space. That's going to get you into burnout. That's going to get you in trouble.
Yeah.
So I think it's important that we know what our territory is. Where do we shine? And as long as we can shine in that space and we take the time to be honest with ourselves about our preferences and about our limitations, we can set better boundaries. We can communicate those, and we can practice what I talk about all the time, which is a psychological phenomenon called healthy selfishness. We hear this on airplanes every time, right? Put the oxygen mask on yourself before you help anybody else.
Oh, that's not what I was thinking.
Oh, what were you thinking?
Healthy is when you sit down in the seat and put your earphones on so nobody will talk to you.
That part. That's it. Because watch this. I was talking to some friends about that today. You have a preference. I'm not. My career is extroverted.
Yes,
but I'm an introvert.
Yes, amen. Same.
I have an extroverted brand.
Right.
But bro,
Same.
I don't
and
have
people
any
never
desire.
believe it. People look at me with a head like I got 3 heads when I say something like that.
Bro, it's the truth. I'm like so I'm an ambivert. I know how to shift pivot between them. But when I wake up in the morning and I go to the airport like I did this morning to come here, nothing in me said, man, I can't wait to talk to the person right next to me. Right. But there are people, because we fly all the time, who they get their rocks off.
Yes.
They can talk from the time.
Where you from? What you doing? Who you going to see? Where you at? I'm going to play cards. We were on the last play we were on.
Bro,
I'm going to play cards with my women's group. We moved to Florida, but all my girlfriends are in Houston, and we're going down to play cards and do this and do that. I
have sat behind and in front of people who are like that. I'm like, wow, you got an anointing. You got a gift. You are talkative. Hey, listen, you got that gift. More power to you. That's not the way I roll.
Correct.
Yeah, so I think we got to be clear about our preferences.
I can't work on planes. I don't know about you.
See, I can. I actually can.
Can't. I try. Unless it's something pressing, or I procrastinated, and now I'm on a deadline. Right. But I will. That's just the last thing I want to do to get in the frame of the mind.
I hear that. Now, see, I can't work on planes when it's 2 stocky brothers like me sitting next to me. Right.
That's when we're flying Southwest.
Right. Now you because the stocky dude on the aisle is pushing the stocky dude in the middle over, and then all I got, and I'm here on the window.
I'm trying to not get hit by the cart. Right, because we need that extra leg out, so that's when the cart comes by. All right, we are way off the rails here. Okay, we are just about out of time. I want to hit 2 more, and we're getting out of here.
Let's get it, bro.
You knew what was going to happen
when you brought me on.
Yeah, I knew we were going to go Joe Rogan today, probably. Right, we're going to see multiple digits. Okay, so develop a strong support system. This is important, right? Yeah. Connect with other business owners, networking groups, or seek mentorship.
So vitally important, man.
And the networking group piece is for me, right? Just because I say this all the time, and my team knows, like a lot of people just like to network for the sake of networking. Right? So, just came from the breakfast. Okay, great. Any strong relationships, any business in the pipeline from that? Maybe down the line, blah, blah, blah. How was the bacon then? Tell me about that, right? Did they have frittatas? Right? So I mean, networking is important, but I like the
relationship building, creating relationships.
Yes.
I think, Cory, if we're going to live lives and run businesses that give us life and vitality and energy and that don't constantly take from us, then the things like launching another franchise or launching another startup, those are things you want to kind of do with a couple of other people who are also on the same journey or a similar journey. So that way you can share hurts and pains, and this has worked out and that didn't, and this was amazing and that wasn't.
And get the different perspective from the areas. Like I remember, short-lived as it was, we had a mastermind going on, and what I really liked about that particular one for the time being was everybody's specialty was something else,
something different,
or had so you had kind of straight keynoter, then you had the coaching piece, and then we had our VT, and like how you do virtual training. So like everybody could collectively, it wasn't for people. It wasn't for people who had construction companies talking about construction.
Correct. Correct.
Right? Because you can, marketing.
Yeah.
What's somebody might be doing something particularly interesting in their genre, in their niche, their lane, with marketing.
Right.
That is transferable.
Correct. Exactly.
Yeah.
So they're complementary.
Yeah.
And the truth is, the people in your life, Cory, chapter 8, shift into a higher gear, right? You shift your posse, who you ride with matters.
That's available wherever books are sold.
Yeah.
Also, shift into a higher gear.
The people around
Buy
you.
that with Position for Growth.
Get them both on Amazon. Come on, somebody. There you go. That's right. There you go.
Yeah.
But the people around you, Cory, should be able to look at your life and say, man, you look like you kind of getting run down. Sis, you like you need a break. You need a vacation, right? Are the people around you a good barometer for your well-being? Are they checking in on you?
Yeah.
To not just ask you how you're doing, because we're not human doings, but how are you feeling, because we're human beings?
One of the, you say a lot of things that it's been a long time since we got some love over there, Willie.
Right.
H.
You know what I'm saying? That was a bar right
Willie
there.
H.
What's up with that one, champ?
Let the church say amen. Yes. Very well deserved. But a lot of things I pick up from you, and I say this, I don't have time. There's not a lot of people I listen to. I just can't. Like, I'm in my own world. Like, I'm not full Gary Vaynerchuk where I'm like, I follow no one, right? but like, if you key people, and you're one of those key people, it's a short list.
Yeah.
Like, key people where I can consume their content, and I really feel like I'm getting something from it.
Thank you, man.
And one of the first things I remember you saying was, you got to ask someone how they're doing twice.
That's right.
Because everyone, and it's funny, I think about you every time I walk down the hallway of our office, and I'm like, oh, hey, how are you? Oh, good. How are you? Great. And we keep walking.
Right.
That's never the reality.
That's never the truth.
It's really it's how you really do it.
Yeah, how you really do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That now.
When you slow that thing down,
processes
please.
through the lens.
Oh my God, you get a whole different response.
Yeah, and gets people, because it's just that it's past the surface level at that point.
Exactly. The first time is pleasantry. The second one tends to be more.
Yeah, particularly in this social media world,
Ooh,
right? You know what I mean? Oh man, saw you on that jet. Oh yeah, I just rented that for 5 minutes to take a picture.
right.
Like nobody says that part, right?
Yeah, they'll never share that part. They edit that out.
Saw you in the Ferrari. Took that back at 6 o'clock. After 6 o'clock, they charge you double.
Right. They came and got it.
Rental. Yeah. I remember this guy. See, this is how we get off the rails. But I remember doing business with a guy, and he used to come to the office in like a beat up Ford Explorer. And I'm like, and I knew this guy had paper. I knew, because I knew what he did and with the space that he was in, and former Wall Street guy. And so I just asked him, like, let me just ask you, like, are you one of those, like, I keep all my millions, I don't put it in things.
Right.
He's like, no, I got a Maserati at the house, but if I start driving that to the office, people are going to want raises.
Good God have mercy.
Wow,
bro.
I'm burning calories. You can only see this on YouTube. I'm burning calories with all these
Come on, brother.
But he's like, yeah, the Maserati's at the house. I drive that when I'm not at work. So drive the beat up deal. Nobody's asking any questions.
I love it,
seeing
bro.
the struggle in the office.
Bro, that's
Can't
clean,
get the coffee
man.
machine too nice.
Right.
So I think that's funny.
That's funny.
Okay, so last one, then we're out of here. Set realistic goals and prioritize. Break down large tasks. So we talked about this. We talked about chunking. Break down large tasks into manageable steps. Prioritize activities. Set achievable goals, which cuts down on the feelings of overwhelm, increases your time management, and ensures study progress. Interesting thing I wanted your thoughts on, because when we talk about set realistic goals.
Yeah, man.
So, okay. So I always tell people, like, particularly from speaking in, I'm a content speaker. Like, there are great speakers who tell one story for an hour and you're moved and it's all great. Yeah. But I'm a content guy. You have to walk away like it's do boom, 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 boom. That's and I weave in stories. I'm the reverse, right? Yeah. I find stories to make the point, but I'm going to make the point. Yeah. So there's in the motivational world out there. Like, I'm motivational, but not a motivational speaker, right? So in that world, there's this kind of, shoot for the moon, and if not, you hit the stars, or jump and grow your wings on the way down. I know Les talks about that. So shout out to Les Brown. Jumping and growing your wings way down can leave you bankrupt too. So it's I want to hear your thoughts on that idea of goals. Yeah. Versus realistic. The word realistic changes people's attitude about things, and you get a polarizing viewpoint.
Right.
No, you gotta, Grant Cardone, you gotta 10x everything you want to do. Right. Don't do 1 million, do 10 million, do 100 million.
Right.
But most people won't do that.
Correct. Yep.
What's your opinion on the kind of trickiness of those type of platitudes and kind of instruction to people?
Yeah. So first of all, I love what you just brought up. There's a lot in what you just said, so I'm gonna try to unpack it all quickly. First thing is, I teach people that there's 4 different types of speakers. You have story-based speakers, you have talent-based speakers, you have expertise-based speakers.
Talent, they juggle.
Right.
Dan Thurman, guys like that. Yeah,
right.
Great guys.
Incredible, right?
Yeah.
And then you have expertise-based speakers who are sharing from their knowledge. And then the 4th speaker is the triple threat. The 4th speaker is the one that does all of them. They have a great story, they have great expertise, and they have a great talent.
Yeah.
And so I believe that you're actually number 4. I believe that you're a triple threat. I've heard you multiple times. So I just wanted to clarify that, because you're not just a content guy. You're not just a story person. I believe that you're the triple threat. You've got the expertise, you've got the talent, you've got the story, you've got it all, right? And that's what I am as well, right? So I love that.
No doubt.
Now, in that same conversation,
I won't jump on tables though and make people do the Matrix.
Yeah, but
I love it.
But you got to do what works for you, right?
I love it.
Yeah. So with that being said, Cory, I think it's important that we understand that once we get clear, okay, I'm this kind of speaker, I'm delivering it this way in this regard to help people. Let's get clear in this conversation of the goal. One of the first things I teach people is, listen, we can't even discuss how realistic the goal is until we make room for the goal. So in chapter 12, I talk about how to shift from transactional goal getting to transactional goal setting to transformational goal getting. And I titled the chapter that on purpose, because I said, listen, anybody can set a goal, but the people that are out here crushing it and actually getting their goals and sustaining the goals that they got, first thing they got to do is they got to create room. And that's why we don't have, Cory, the reason why we're so overwhelmed and burnt out is because we live in a consumer-based world. We're constantly consuming more. Let me add this to my plate. Let me add this. Let me add this. Let me add. Before you started this studio project, you pushed things off of your plate that didn't belong to give yourself the room to make this work.
Yes.
Does that make sense? And I think what we have to do is so we can't answer the question if people says, is my goal realistic? It all depends. How much room in your life did you make for the goal?
Right.
Did you make room in your life? Did you make room in your schedule? Did you make room in your finances? This particular business move is going to cost you about $100K. Did you make room in your financial agenda and your portfolio for that to happen? And I think a lot of times we just say, okay, I want, and we don't take the time to get clear about what no longer belongs.
Right.
So that we have the capacity to go for the hairy, audacious, impossible goal that a lot of people do hit if they have the room and they have the space and they have the team, the community around them that supports them. So go for that outrageous goal. Go for that big thing. Make room first, though.
Hit me with something.
Say amen. And you better believe it.
You better believe it, baby.
All right. Woo.
Wow, bro.
We're going to leave it right there. That was exactly what I thought it was going to be.
But this is our first time ever doing co-hosting together.
Yes.
But man, the flow is sick.
Yeah, well, that's the relationship.
Yeah,
and
man.
that's the, being on that wavelength and learning from each other, but also having, alignment in the
Because I'm a student
process.
of yours too, man. I love your stuff.
That.
I love your content. Yeah, every time you ask me to do anything, I'm always the answer is always yes. You can give me the details later,
right.
but I mean we're bros. We share this industry together. We're mastermind brothers, and anytime you need me, bro, I'm always there.
I appreciate that, and we appreciate you, the listeners, the viewers. You're watching us YouTube or you're streaming across the channels. We love having you come back every week and giving us your time, because I learned from Jim Rohn. The one thing you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here, right? The one thing we can't get back is our time. So you taking the time to listen and absorb the information that we're sharing, not as your gurus, but to share some ideas, to share some thoughts, so we can engage together and do the one thing that we try to do every week with this show is help you grow your business.
That's it.
Well, we're wrapped up today. Delatorro, Dr. Delatorro, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you, brother.
Indeed, my friend.
I am Cory Mosley. This has been another episode of the Grow Business Podcast. We'll see you next week. Willie H., take us out.
Take us out, baby.
Yeah. You got to go to YouTube for the special edition of Dell dancing, folks. That's an exclusive YouTube exclusive. That is right.
Yeah,
Man, that was great, though. Straight fire. You got it dialed in. Pass eye only. Like, oh, he's digging in the crates. I know it.
Hey, you told me I had to have more sound bites.
That was good.
I said, okay, that's the challenge.
Good.
Hey, Z.
That was good.
He said you got to have more sound bites than Willie Jolly. I said, okay, let me go ahead and get. Let me get my.
I saw a clip from him, and he was like, the key to listening is silent. Is also spelled. Listening also spells silent. I'm like, that's when you throw a pass eye on. I'm like,
You stretch it a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. I'm down there going L-S.
You're right.
Oh, you know what? That does work. I love it.